Okay guys, so today we're just going to have a look at box plots or box and whisker plots and how we can use those to find something we call the interquartile range. So a box plot or a box and whisker plot looks something like that. So you always have a vertical line, then a long line coming along to a box which has a line at the beginning, a line somewhere in the middle of it, and a line at the end, then another line to one at the end, all right? And each of these vertical lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relies on a number. So we call those numbers the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum. Hopefully you're aware, minimum just means the smallest number, maximum means the biggest number, and median is one of those averages we've looked at, the middle number of the data that we've got. So those are hopefully familiar with you. Whereas Q1 and Q3 are new. Q1 means the number between the minimum and the median. So it's almost like the median between the smallest and the median number. And the Q3 is the number between the median and the maximum. So we'll have a look at those later on as well. So basically our box plot has got our minimum there, then our Q1, our median, our Q3, and our maximum. Okay. So before we can draw a box plot, we've got to make sure that we're comfortable with finding those 5 numbers from a data set. So first of all, I'll just show you these, if they're going to show up on the camera. There we go. So I've got there the numbers 1, 8, 7, 13, and 4. So maybe in a second, if you just want to have a go at finding the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum, maybe just pause the video and have a quick go at working that out. So what you should have found is if you put them in order, which I've just done over here, the minimum is obviously 1, the Q1 is 4, the median is 7, the Q3 is 8, and the maximum is 13. So the way that I worked out this Q1 is if we look at it, 1 was the minimum, 7 was the median, 4 is in between those, which makes it the Q1. And then for this one, for the Q3, the median was 7, the maximum was 13, 8 was the number in between those. So as for finding those 5 numbers when you have more than 5 numbers, it becomes a little bit harder. But I want you to have a quick go at that as well. So basically, all you need to do again is arrange them in order of lowest to highest. And then what you need to do is you need to obviously find your minimum, your median, and your maximum. That should be fairly easy. And then you've got to find the number that's in between your minimum and your median for your Q1. And then find the number between your median and your maximum for your Q3. Okay, so have a quick go at working that out. Again, you can pause the video. I'll just make sure you can see the numbers. There they are. You might have seen the minimum there, but so pause that and have a go at those. Okay, so going through, the minimum was 8. The Q1 was 10. And the way that I worked that out is 10 is in the middle of 9 and 11, all right? If you arrange these in order of lowest to highest, which you should have done already, that's the first thing to do. Once you find your minimum of 8 and your median of 12, the numbers in between there are a 9 and a 11, so 10 is in between those two numbers, which makes it the Q1. As for the Q3, it's 14.5. So that's the number in between 12 and 17, which again are the numbers in between the median and the maximum. You notice I wrote that it's the mean of those two. So whenever we have 2 numbers, we just take the mean of those and divide by 2. That's how I worked out the Q3. And the maximum was 18. So that's a little bit harder when you've got more than 5 numbers. When you're having a go at doing these later, I want you to try and do the one that has more than 5 numbers, but there will be an option for only 5 numbers as well. So for this lesson, it'd be really helpful if you did have some squared paper at home, like this. But if you don't have that, that's fine. All you need to do is get some blank paper and use a ruler to draw a line 26 centimetres long and divide it up into 2 centimetres because that will be helpful later on. So if you have squared paper, it'd be great, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world because, like I say, you just draw a line using a ruler. Anyway, what we're going to do now, sorry, just losing my numbers, we're going to go through a worked example of how to draw one of these box plots. And I'm going to use an easy example first of all. So first of all, these are my numbers. I've got 2, 9, 7, 18 and 3. The first thing I need to do is arrange them in order of lowest to highest. So 2, 3, 7, 9, 18. So that makes 2 my minimum, 3 my Q1, 7 my median, 9 my Q3 and 18 my maximum. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line for each of those numbers onto this blank box plot. So just give me a second, I'm going to do that really quickly. So I'm going to draw a line at 2, a line at 3, a line at 7, a line at 9, and then a line at 18 as well. So I've got those lines all there, as you can see. Now what I need to do is make the box part of that. So the box, remember, is the Q1, the median and the maximum, so the middle 3 values. So it's going to be this line, and this line. So again, I'm going to quickly draw that down. So I've drawn the box there. So Q1, median and maximum. Then I'm just going to add the whiskers, so the lines go into it. So you can see there I've just added on lines going from the minimum to the box and then from the box to the maximum, and that's how I've drawn a simple box plot. Now I do also have a worked example for when it's slightly harder as well. So for the hard one I've got 11 numbers, you can see them there. So again, the first thing you want to do is arrange them in order of lowest to highest. So my minimum is 2 and my maximum is 21. Then I want to find my median value. So if we go in and find the number in the middle of these, my median value will be 11. So my median is 11. Now I need to find the middle of 2 and 11. So if I put that down, so 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 11. If I go and try to find the middle of those two, I get to a 4 and an 8. So there are 2 middle numbers. So for this, just like when there are 2 numbers in a median, all I need to do is find the middle of those, which I can either just take a mean of those 2 numbers, or for 4 and 8, hopefully it's pretty obvious that 6 is the number in between those 2. So 6 is my Q1 value. So far I've got a minimum of 2, a Q1 of 6, a median of 11, and a maximum of 21. All I need to do now is to find my Q3, so the number between the median and the maximum. So again, I've written down those numbers between the median and the maximum, and if I look at those, 14 and 17 are the 2 numbers in the middle. And again, if you take a mean of those 2 numbers or just work out what's the number exactly between those 2 numbers, the answer is 15.5. So there we go. I've got everything I need now. I've got my minimum, I've got my Q1, I've got my median, I've got my Q3, and I've got my maximum. So once again, I'm just going to plot those onto my graph. So 2, 6, 11, 15.5, and 21. Bear with me a second while I do that. So I put those numbers in where they need to be, 2, 6, 11, 15.5 and 21. Now what I need to do is I need to draw the box using these three values. So there's the box, and then I just need a line from here to here, and then here to here. And that's it done. So what's really good about box and whisker plots as a graph is it shows us where the majority of the data is concentrated. So most of the values are in the area of the box, and then we can just see what the smallest, what the highest and smallest value are as well. So they're quite useful in that way. The final thing that I wanted to talk about is just something called the interquartile range. And the interquartile range is really easy. All you have to do is once you've worked out your Q3 and your Q1, you literally just do Q3 minus Q1, okay? So for this graph, where my Q3 was 15.5 and my Q1 was 6, so I'm just doing Q3 minus Q1, which is 15.5 minus 6, which gives me 9.5. So my interquartile range is 9.5. So anyway, on Google Classroom there's going to be some questions for you involving plotting a box plot, which you can hopefully take a photo of and upload onto the worksheet. Like I say, I would like you to try and do the harder one where there are more than 5 numbers, but if you're really struggling, there is an easier option with just 5 numbers. Obviously, I'll be available on Zoom during the lesson, so you can get help if needed as well. Okay, thank you.